Hello, everyone, and welcome to the PCSS Connection. Did you know that Putnam County is growing its own teachers? That's right. The state of Tennessee has a Grow Your Own program to end teacher shortage by strengthening the education pipeline. And how are they doing that, and what are we doing about it in Putnam County? And joining us now is Judy Schinbeckler, who is the Supervisor for Professional Development and Licensure. And I'm sure you're going to tell us what all that means with Putnam County Schools. Judy, thanks for being on the PCSS Connection.
Thank you for having me.
So the Grow Your Own program, we are growing our own teachers as we speak.
Yes.
It sounds like it's really a fascinating program, and it's something that started with the state started about 5 years ago.
Yes, that is correct. Originally started in 2019. Austin Peay State University and Clarksville Montgomery schools were the first program that they tried this out with. That was in 2019. It was a success. So in the fall of 2020, they offered over $2 million in grant money.
Wow.
Putnam County was a recipient of some of that grant money.
Yeah.
And so at that time we had 5 participants in the program,
Right.
and we still currently have 4 that work as teachers in the Putnam County school system.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Now, how does one be a part of the Grow Your Own program? Because I'm sure that there's some folks out there who would like to take advantage of this.
So now the program has actually evolved. As I just said, it started out as a grant, but
Right.
grant monies tend to run out. So the State Department actually worked, and now it is a teacher. It is a nationally registered apprenticeship program
Oh, wow.
with the United States Department of Labor.
Yeah.
So it is a true high-quality apprenticeship standards program in the state of Tennessee, which is kind of exciting. And that started, I think, in 2022. They
Okay.
started with that. So that first year of apprenticeship, we kind of sat back and watched. We watched other people in the state do it.
Yeah.
And then in 2023, fall of 2023, we were like, okay, we can do this. This is very doable for us. And so we started our application process to become a registered apprenticeship program in the state of Tennessee. There are several ways we can recruit people, because it is, as you've said, it is a teacher apprenticeship program,
Yeah.
but it's a way to grow your own teachers in your community.
Right.
You pull people from your community that know this area, they know our students, they're a part of our families. So there are several ways you can, just recruit to the public. What we chose to do was reach out first to current employees.
Okay.
So teachers' aides, teachers' assistants.
Somebody who's already in the system.
Someone who already works.
Yeah.
They don't have to be in a classroom. We even had some school nutrition employees apply.
Oh, awesome.
So it's anyone who works for Putnam County school system. We sent out an email about a year ago asking for interest, and we had 18 people respond.
Great.
Which we were pleased with. And through the whole application process, which has taken quite a while,
Yeah.
getting the students screened and enrolled in the universities, we are down to 8 people. But we really feel we have 8 wonderful candidates in the program.
Yeah, and when you look at they're getting experience, they're going to school. It's a partnership with Vol State and with Austin Peay.
Yes, correct.
So they're going to be getting their school paid for, plus they're going to continue their jobs in the school system, and then whenever they graduate, they have a job in the school system.
Correct. So the program really, the learning, the way it differs from an original, such as when I went through college,
Right.
You took 4 years of college, you learned the theory, and then you put that theory into practice when you got your job.
Yeah.
So now the 2 basic components of the apprenticeship are the coursework, of course. They will start at Vol State Community College here in Cookeville, take about a year and a half worth of courses. Then they will transition to Austin Peay State University for the last half of the program. It is an accelerated program, so they are done in 3 years.
Wow.
It is no cost to the student. They will graduate debt-free, no out-of-pocket cost for them.
Wow.
Either our district is helping to fund that, state dollars are helping to fund that, the United States Department of Labor and Workforce Development funds that. And so what they're doing is they're learning their coursework At the same time, they are immediately implementing what they're learning in the classroom through on-the-job training.
That's great.
Yeah, so it's happening at the same time, and they're going to have really 3 years of on-the-job training instead of the traditional student who has maybe 1 year to 1 semester of student teaching.
Yeah.
So we're excited about this.
And so what does this look like for the future? Because now they're getting started. They've got you 8 people. There was 18 that applied. So will you go through another application process and just kind of keep building along the way?
Well, what's really amazing is word of mouth.
Yeah.
We have already, the current participants have spoken about this to their colleagues, to their peers, sharing the information, and we actually have had so many emails for requesting information that I think we will have a second cohort next year.
Great.
Without even having to send out the applications.
Wow.
So the interest in the program just continues to grow.
Yeah. And like you said, there are teachers in the system right now who came through this, the very first cohort that came through, and they're teaching now. And
Correct.
Yeah.
We had 5 in the program.
Yeah.
And 4 are currently still teaching here in the district at one of our schools.
Well, of the 8, Chastity Burgess at Allgood Middle School, Tiffany Burrows from Upperman Middle School, Megan Carr, Northeast Elementary, Angela Hart, Prescott South Middle School, Haley Hickey, Cookeville High, Sarah Mackey, Parkview, Emily Shipley, Parkview, and Bethany Vaught for Cookeville High. If you see them, congratulate them and give them some encouragement because, it's not going to happen overnight. It's a 3-year process, but still, these are somebody that said, hey, I want to go back to school and I want to teach in Putnam County.
Correct. These are really non-traditional students.
Yeah.
A lot of them have families at home. They're not. Most of them are not recent high school graduates going to college. So they do need encouragement, and we're going to make sure that we do that as a district. We're encouraging them and supporting them through this. They are working full time still.
Yeah.
They keep,
and they have to go to school at the same time.
And they're taking classes.
Yeah.
Yes. So it will not be an easy program, but we feel that with the right support and encouragement, that they're going to do a fantastic job.
Yeah, that is very, very exciting. Well, I know that this is one of the things that you have been promoting and helping with. Let's talk about the rest of the stuff that you do on a regular basis here at the school system. Your official title, or at least what they have on our phone listing, was Professional Development and Licensure Supervisor. So what does that mean?
Well, those are the two, what I say, big things I do. Of course, there's 1,000 other little things. But PD stands for Professional Development. So all teachers, once they're licensed, just like most professions, have to do so many hours of training each year. Mm-hmm. For teachers, that is 30 hours. Wow. And so I support them in that, making sure that they get that. We stay in compliance, first of all, with the State Department. So I am making sure to help teachers track their hours. They get the 30 hours they need. But it's also working with our director of schools, our deputy director, Mr. Martin, our principals, and what does that PD look like? Yeah. Identifying what are the needs in the district for PD, what do teachers need, what are the areas they need to strengthen, and what opportunities can we provide those teachers to improve their teaching skills. So that's that big chunk.
Yeah.
Licensure is exactly what it says. I do, once again, it sounds like I'm a compliance checker. Every teacher in a classroom has to have a teaching license.
That's right, yeah.
And so I help them if they need to apply for one, if they need to renew. They do have to renew it every so many years. Mm-hmm. I help teachers go through that process of renewing their license, just making sure they're staying current with their training so their license stays current, and that whatever we have them teaching, they have the qualifying teaching license for endorsement area or whatever. So I do a lot of supporting in that as well. Which kind of aligns with this program, because one of the things I do is I train all of our new teachers that we hire every year.
At the beginning of the year, you've got like a week long.
It's a 3-day intense.
Yeah, it seems like it's a week long.
It probably feels to them like it's a week long. But we have anywhere from 80 to 110 new employees every year. And so we do put them through a training process. But I love that. Training teachers I mean, that's a passion of mine,
Yeah.
but especially new teachers. And
Yeah.
that's why I love this program, because teaching is, we have this national shortage, and we need these grow your own programs
Yeah.
because not as many people are choosing education as a career field.
Right.
And I don't understand that.
I don't understand that either.
I'm still, after 32 years,
Yeah.
I'm so passionate about this career choice, and I want others to feel the same.
Right.
I want to continue telling people this is the best job you'll ever have. It's the most rewarding job you will ever have. And so being able to work with these future educators
Yeah.
who have said, I think this is something I would like to do, then I want to make sure I'm supporting them in that
Yeah.
and helping them achieve that goal, because it really is going to be amazing for them to enter the field of education with all the negativity or whatever that goes with that.
Right.
Yeah,
Don't listen to that. That's just,
don't listen to that
that.
stuff. It is still a wonderful job and rewarding.
Yeah.
I mean, educating children is one of the most rewarding jobs I think you can have.
Now, how long have you been in this position?
This position, I'm not sure I know the answer. I've been with the Putnam County School System 32 years.
Wow.
Starting off as a teacher in the classroom at Cookeville High School for over 20 years.
Really?
Transitioning into administration through
Yeah.
our virtual school,
Yeah.
Vital, and then moving here. I think I've been here about 8 years now in this role.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what was your time like in the classroom? I mean, obviously, you have hands-on experience when it comes to teaching the new teachers about what's going on. So how do you draw on that? In 20 years at a high school, that's I'm sure you've seen a few things.
I've seen a few things, but I loved every minute.
Yeah.
I would not change
What
a
did you
thing.
teach?
I taught English and Spanish and theory of knowledge were my three main courses I taught.
Theory of knowledge.
Which I tell people, they look at me and I'm like, that's similar to maybe psychology.
Okay.
Something
Gotcha.
like that. But it was fun. It was part of the IB program.
Yeah.
And so that was a lot of fun. I tell people I'm currently teaching personal finance online.
Really?
If you'd asked me in college, what would I be teaching?
Yeah.
I never
You
would have
said personal finance.
But I tell my students now, I think I will retire with that being my favorite course of all time.
Wow.
Yes, it is.
More than the theory of knowledge.
More than the theory of knowledge, because personal finance is so practical
Yeah.
for students. It's life-changing if they will take the skills we're teaching them and apply them to their lives. It's a life-changing course,
Wow.
and I tell kids that. And it's just practical, and it's stuff they can use immediately.
Yeah.
Even at 15, 16 years old, we're teaching them about saving money and purchasing a car, and so it is my favorite course so far. I do draw on my teaching experience.
Yeah.
Sometimes I share stories. Like I said, I have a lot of stories. I share those with teachers sometimes.
Sure.
Just to say these are some of the things you will face. I share how I handled things.
Right.
Every teacher who goes into the classroom will develop their own skill set, that matches their personality.
Absolutely.
But I do draw on those experiences that I had to try to help prepare future teachers.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
great. So where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Cookeville.
Yeah.
Born and raised here. Yeah, I love it. I travel extensively. I love going and seeing places.
Yeah.
But my husband and I always want to come home.
Yeah.
We just think there's no better place than here, close to the mountains. We can go hiking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just great here.
Now, what schools did you go to growing up?
I started at Parkview Elementary.
Okay.
Went there for a year or two, and bus routes changed.
Yeah.
And so then I became a Capshaw kid.
Okay.
And stayed there through 6th grade. Back
Yeah.
then, elementary was through 6th grade. And then, of course, we had the junior high, which is now, I think, a Tennessee Tech building. And then the old Cookeville High School
Yeah.
building, which is a
Retrace.
retrace.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my history,
Homegrown, right
I'm
here.
homegrown, yes.
You've grown your own, that's right.
Tennessee Tech and my alma mater, that's where
Yeah.
I did my undergraduate work
Wow.
and my master's work was through Tennessee Tech. Sometimes I hear students young high school kids say, I don't want to stay local. I don't.
I have a daughter that said that.
Yeah. I'm like, no, you don't understand. We have a great university in our own hometown. Don't overlook it because it's local.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
they just want to get out and be away from mom and dad.
They do. Yeah. They want to spread those wings. Yes. I try to teach them when you do that, debt comes with that.
Yes, it does.
So I'm like, stay home, go to tech, try to do school debt free. But no, Tennessee Tech's a wonderful school, and so, I'm a product of this community. I'll just say that. I've had a great career with it.
Well, tell us about your family.
Oh, my family. I've been married 40 years this summer.
Congratulations.
Thank you. My husband Keith, who's wonderful, and I have to say he supported me. I married him prior to starting college, and he supported me for years as I worked full time and went and took classes to become a teacher. And so I actually understand what these people who are in our program now.
Yeah.
When I say I can empathize with them, I really can, and I can support them because I told them I've done this.
Yeah.
I've raised children, I've worked full time, I've gone to school. But he was great. He supported me. I have 2 children. They're both local. I have a daughter who's a mental health therapist. She lives local. I have a son who's a UPS driver. And I'm going to say this where everybody can see this. I tell people he gave me every gray hair I have. But they're both great.
The boys always do that, don't they?
The boys do.
The boys
they
do that. Yeah, the girls are fine.
Yeah.
It's the boys.
I have 3 bonus grandchildren, which live next
awesome.
door to me.
Nice.
Yeah, so they come over and visit frequently, and I spend time with them, and so that's been new and that's been nice, and I'm enjoying that part of my life now as I've gotten older. So.
Well, you say you like to travel. Have you been on any good trips lately?
Oh, we travel all the time. Last fall break, we went to Greece and Turkey.
Wow.
So when I say
so
travel...
when you travel, you mean travel.
We travel. My husband and I, we've probably been to 10 or 11 different countries.
Wow.
It is just something we love to... We'd love to experience other cultures.
Yeah.
I want to teach children, too. There's more... There's something beyond Cookeville. There's something beyond Tennessee. But it's okay to love it here and come back, like I said.
Yeah.
But I want to experience cultures.
Yeah.
I want to meet other people and learn about life, that's not similar to what I'm experiencing here.
Right.
And so that's probably my most recent, it was about a year ago during fall break. We took that trip for about 2.5 weeks. It was wonderful. This summer, went to New Orleans for a week just because you can. Because we could, yeah. And I had been there several times, but my husband had not.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of history there.
Yeah.
And so, some people go to the beach every summer, and that's their thing. and I guess he and I were more like nerds or something. We're like, we want to learn about history.
I'm starting to get away from the beach a little bit. It gets a little crowded. My wife and I have been saying the same thing. We're ready to go see some other things.
See things, yeah. I love the beach, and I do go occasionally. But we're not doing the same vacation every
over
year.
and over
We're
again.
Just like, hey, where can we go this year? Where's something new?
So do you have
haven't
any
been.
good trips coming up that you're planning for? Where's the next place you would like to go?
Ireland. I've not been to Ireland yet,
Oh,
so
that'd be awesome.
that is a bucket list item for sure. I want to see the Northern Lights, so I want to take that trip, and then I don't know. We'll just see, we'll just see what comes up. Usually, what opportunities come up to travel with friends or family, and just kind of. My daughter this summer went to Tokyo and came back and raved about. I mean, she loved it, and so now my husband and I are like, we may have to add that to our list.
Well, Judy Schinbeckler, the Supervisor for Professional Development and Licensure, telling us about growing your own, and she is homegrown right here in Putnam County. Thanks for being with us, and thanks for all that you do, because I don't think people realize sometimes the professional development that has to happen with the teachers in our county. And to have somebody who's passionate about it and who's been in the classroom, very lucky to have you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, well, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Well, in case you haven't heard, there is a new boys basketball coach at Cookeville High, and it is a very familiar face because Matt Hill played there, was an assistant coach there, and now is the head boys basketball coach. Matt, congratulations on your new position at Cookeville High.
Thank you, sir.
So, to having played there and coached, what does it feel like now to be the head coach?
I tell you, it's kind of surreal. It's something. I've been there so long. It's something that I looked forward to. It's kind of a goal eventually. Probably happened a little quicker than I thought it would, but yeah, it's exciting.
Now, how long have you been an assistant? Were you an assistant before you got moved up?
It's about 18 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so graduated in 2006, and I played for Coach Bray.
Right.
And I remember talking to you at the paper at that time.
Now, was that Tyler? Was those guys?
Tyler Wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Zach
was that group.
Hennigan.
Yes.
Yeah. Stearman.
Yeah.
David Williams. Yep.
And Jude Akers was a freshman that
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. He was like kind of
Yeah.
our sixth man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right after I graduated, Mitchell, my brother, was coming up,
Yes.
and just always been around ball, and so I was like, hey, Coach Bray, care if I stick around?
Yeah.
Need any help? And started volunteering. Yep. All through college and ever since. So
Always been a Cavalier.
I have been. It's been crazy. Over half my life.
So was it your goal to be the head coach one day?
I think it wasn't like I wasn't writing it on a board or anything.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I think in the back of my mind, probably.
Yeah.
I think that's just if you're gonna keep coaching, it's something you aspire to eventually.
Well, and you mentioned your brother. Mitchell did come up and all-time leading scorer at Cookeville High to be
Yep.
able to be on the bench while he was doing all those things. And your dad, Brian, I can't even remember a time, has he ever not been there and not been on the bench? Because, he's always been around.
Always.
He's
Yeah,
always been around.
Yeah, I know when I started playing, he started helping and
Yeah.
keeping stats, and he's kind of always the guy that would, go to. He could tell when a guy was struggling mentally or had something going on at home or whatever. He was always kind of that guy to go pick him up, and I was really fortunate that I got to watch him do that.
Yeah.
I didn't have a whole lot of those problems, but Dad always sensed that in some guys, and I think that really shaped, a lot of my coaching style. Having had him really coach me for a long time, but
Right.
seeing him, being on the bench with him and watching him, take care of guys like that was pretty special.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
Now, where is Mitchell now?
So Mitchell is at Winthrop University.
He's still there?
He's on the boys' staff there.
Because he played there.
He played at Tech,
Played at Tech, then he went to Winthrop.
and then so
Yes.
he GA'd at Tech
That's right.
with Coach Payne.
Yes, he did.
Yep, and then he got a job at Winthrop.
That's right.
He's been there a while.
That's what I thought. He's
Yeah.
been there so long, it's like, did he play there? It all starts,
I know. Me too.
mixed.
Yeah.
Well, so what a great time to take over for the Cookeville High boys basketball team, but also a rough time. Last year, you guys made history.
Yeah.
You hosted your first sub-state game, and you won it. You went to the state tournament and made it all the way to the championship game, and just fell short. State runners-up, brought back the silver ball, and no pressure. But how you going to follow that up?
It's tough. It's tough. We lost a lot.
Yeah.
It goes without saying. We got 3 seniors that left that are playing college basketball, and another one that could have, and just decided that wasn't the route he wanted to go. So
Yeah.
we lost those 4, and then now Jalen leaving. He's moving away to finish his senior year somewhere in Hillsboro. So lose your starting 5. It's tough, but we got some talent. We got some seniors that a couple, Jaron Davis,
Yeah.
that played quite a bit, and Joseph Owen, same thing.
Right.
And then got couple juniors and some really good young talent behind them. So got a lot of work, got my work cut out for me, but I'm ready for it.
Well, you seriously, you come in and you do lose all that. Coach Hurd, he was highly successful, and he left and took his son with him, and so that's not just losing a coach, but you're also losing a player. But and I think back at Cookeville High, last year was just special,
Yeah.
and just how everything happened. And those years don't always come around like that.
No.
I mean, you've been involved
I
with
would
Cookeville
say
High for a long time.
I know more than anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got to give a lot of credit to Coach Hurd. One of the first things he did when he came in was he had that hashtag, that motto, gold ball thinking.
Yeah.
And a lot of people had fun with that, and,
Yes.
and rightly so. But at the same time, like he knew it was possible. Like he thought, hey, why not us?
Right.
So I do have to give him a lot of credit, and for us to go on that run, I think it's only made our guys hungrier for sure. I think it's trickled down into the middle schools some. So yeah, I mean, why can't we keep that going?
Yeah.
It's not going to be an every year thing. We know that,
Right.
but I think there's a lot of momentum.
But if you start developing that winning attitude and that winning mentality, it
Yeah.
can happen a lot more than it's happened in the past.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, and I feel really good about our athletic department as a whole.
Yeah.
Our athletic directors and the other coaches we got. I think we're all set up for success. So I'm looking forward to it.
So how would you describe your style of coaching?
I told the parents, we had a parent meeting. I told them, the three things: that I was going to coach them hard,
Yeah.
that I was going to make sure that they knew that I cared about them
Yep.
at the end of the day,
Right.
and that we were going to win some games. So, as far as my style, I'm probably not going to be as loud and boisterous maybe as Coach Hurd was, but I have my way of those guys knowing when I mean business.
Yeah.
And that means a lot to me, that they know when it's time to get down to business and when I'm disappointed in them, and they'll know that. But yeah, I don't know. It's been a couple of years since I was on the sideline by myself. When I was doing the freshman team, the JV team, the last couple of years I got to focus solely on varsity, which was nice.
Yeah.
So get back into that routine, but it'll be good.
Well, it's no surprise you're not an animated type
Yeah.
coach,
No.
but at the state tournament when you won the semifinal game, that was about as excited as I've ever seen you on the sidelines, maybe ever at a basketball game.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, it's my whole family knows like that. It takes a lot to get me excited, or at least for me to show that I'm
Yeah.
excited. But yeah, that was just a dream.
Yeah.
It was for me, for a kid growing up here, and my parents would take me to games. We would listen on the radio. I mean, for me to get to that stage with that team and those guys, and I know that it's cliche, but
Yeah.
but man, it takes a special group of
Yeah.
kids to buy in, and obviously you got to be talented on top of that, and so many things have to go your way to get to that point. And that was just a game, the Bartlett game that you're talking about, that nobody gave us a shot in.
No.
And
Those guys
rightly
looked
so. You
like,
look
I mean,
at
they
them.
came out on the floor and looked like it was a college team.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
were
looked like a D1 team.
They did.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was icing on the cake, man. It's probably my favorite moment on a court I've ever had, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I know it's just August, but what kind of schedule do you have as far as getting the teams ready? And
Yeah.
before you know it, it'll be here and it'll be November, and you'll be having your Hall of Fame games and getting into the action and everything.
Yeah, so we've started lifting. We're fortunate that we're able to lift there toward the end of school.
Mm-hmm.
So we work in the weight room 2 or 3 times a week. Then we're allowed to do 3-man instructional groups.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't talked about my staff yet, but
Yeah.
the Coach Gillums are back with me.
Yeah,
so
that's
so I've got
great.
Bailey Gillum,
Yes.
alumni, and I coached him there. And so I've joked with him, he's kind of my director of player development.
Yeah.
Because, he got a lot of that in college at Tech.
He
and
did.
So he's working those guys out. And then Coach Scott Gillum obviously is coming back, and they're both alumni. So
Yeah.
we got some Cookeville flavor.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I can just tell you, it makes me feel a little old to have covered you in high school. I
Yeah.
covered Bailey when he was at Prescott, when he was
yeah.
in middle school before he went to Cookeville High, and then before he went and walked on at Tech. But to see the core of Cookeville High people coaching and coming together for the program, to me that's pretty special. And I would think for all those Cookeville High fans that are out there, that has to mean a lot.
I hope so. I definitely think it's special, and it's something Mr. Trinman and I talked about, when I went over there and kind of interviewed and did that thing, was having those guys that want to stay around and continue to be here. And I think we're starting to see that really across sports. You talk about Coach Bush with baseball or Coach Hennigan with football, and there's some other sports, that we're seeing that with. So
I personally love seeing that.
I do too.
I love seeing
too.
people come back to their alma mater and pour back into the school where they've played, and that meant so much to them.
Yeah. I think it's pretty special.
Yeah, love to see that. Well, I know you bleed the red, white, and blue of the Cookeville Cavaliers, and it's got to be an exciting time. Is there anything in particular that you're really looking forward to this year that you're just like, man, I can't wait for this to happen? I mean, obviously your first game is going to be pretty special.
Yeah, well, get that first win. Let's get that one off the bat.
Everything will be a first. It'll be a first win, first district championship, first region championship.
Well, let's hope. That's the goal anyway.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I think just getting started. I'm ready for November. Like you said, it's going to be here quickly, but at the same time, it seems like forever for us to wait. November 4th is our first day of practice.
Yeah.
And we play 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
So, man, I'm ready to get started and see where we're at, because I've been around. I kind of know what we got. But, you take one, take the coach away, and then take a senior away, and so now it's kind of like, man, I don't know. We gotta see again where we're at. So,
and you got to have some kids step up in leadership roles.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you lost some good leaders, Bennett Reeves and some of those guys.
100%.
Yeah.
One thing I tell people is that was really a player-led team.
Yeah.
More so than we've probably ever had. Those 4 guys bought into being leaders and doing a lot of the stuff that we as coaches just didn't have to worry about.
Yeah.
We knew that they were going to take care of it. So, but I will say, Jaron Davis has stepped into that role.
Awesome.
Seamlessly, and I have no, worry or thought about anything going wrong with him. And then obviously Joseph is in football, and he's going to do well in that. But when he comes in, I will say that those 2 seniors I feel great about as people and players.
Great.
Yep.
Well, the Hill family's meant a lot to Cookeville High basketball for a long time, and it will continue that way with Matt Hill, the new Cookeville High boys basketball coach. Again, congratulations, man. It is well deserved.
Thank you.
And I think it's awesome, and we're going to be rooting for you this year.
Hey, thanks.
All right. Thanks for being with us.
All right. Thank you.
Well, it's the week a lot of people have been waiting for, and that's high school football. That's right, the high school football season kicks off tonight with Cookeville traveling to Stone Memorial, Upperman going to Fayetteville, and Monterey hosting Cannon County. We want to wish all of our fall sports teams, including our football teams and other teams as well, good luck on what we hope will be a very successful season. Well, that's all the time we have for this week. I appreciate you tuning in to the PCSS Connection. Have a great week, and God bless.